Good morning, fire breathers. Happy hump day. Today is Wednesday, 2019-05-08. I'm gonna start with the home. So, home track, get your warm up in. For your workout today, you've got 3 movements, 6 rounds. Each round is for time, and then you get a 1-minute rest in between rounds. Your score is your slowest round. So here's the thing with that, knowing from the get-go, right? The idea is that obviously you're going to have one round that you do really fast. You're going to have some slower rounds. Your idea is not to kind of sandbag it and stay steady. You want to get through each round as quickly as possible. And ideally, you're going for consistency, right? But in reality, what's going to happen is you're going to have a really good round. That minute rest isn't going to be enough, and you're going to kind of tank the next round, and then you'll be able to recover and go faster. But do your best to get through each round as quickly as possible and keep them close, and then your slowest round is your score. You can leave all 6 round times in the notes, just one for future reference so that you can see where you end up being fastest, where you end up being slowest. So why is that data useful? One, just knowing yourself as an athlete, how do you perform, right? I am a huge data nerd, so having that information always kind of helps in the future. Where do you do best? So some people do really well by starting hot out the gate, right, and redlining quickly, but then keeping that momentum going and riding that forward. Some people don't do well with that at all. Me personally, as an athlete, usually, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, my best round is always followed by my absolute worst round, and it takes me way too long to recover from a sprint and I can't ride that momentum. So comes with trial and error to find out what's a good push the pace where I'm doing really well, but then not completely tanking and bonking and, doing that all out sprint and dying. So just kind of helps you figure out where you're at, what kind of athlete you are, so that you know how to attack workouts in the future. So your 3 movements home. It's gonna be fun because I'm in boots. Hollow rock. So the fun thing about a hollow rock is that even RX can have some variability in what your shape looks like in order to get this to move. So the biggest point of a hollow rock is that, oh, this is gonna be fun on the hardwood floor, is that your hollow body shape is not moving, it's angles. So what you're not doing is crunching. You're not making your angles smaller as you rock. You're holding one shape and moving that shape and tipping your body weight from one end to the other. So again, literally it would be like this, where you're rocking back and forth. That's why it's called a hollow rock. It's not a V-up. So how do you find the shape that's good for you? I cannot point my toes in these. Don't wear boots when you do this. But you want to start to find your core position, laying flat on your back, tuck your knees in. That's going to kind of rotate your pelvis up a little bit up off the ground. You're going to pull your shoulders up so that you're in a little bit of a mini crunch, and you're going to drive that belly button down to the ground. So there's no air, no space between your low back and the ground. That's a nice tight hold. You want to maintain that position throughout this movement. So arms are going to go straight by your side, okay? You're going to extend one leg and then the other. So again, I can't point my toes, so I'm not going to be able to go too low with this. But you point your toes because you want your legs nice and strong and straight throughout this. Lower your legs down for as much as you can until you start to lose that arch in your back, the flatness of your back, and then bring them back up. Your hands can then come up overhead
Again, only as far as you can maintain that nice, tight, flat back. From here, what your rock looks like is a heels touch the ground, then you rotate your shoulders to touch the ground, and that's 1. Heels, shoulders, heels, shoulders. So it would be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. So to make it easier, you're going to have a smaller angle. It'll be a bigger range of motion as you come back and forward, as you rock, but it's a little bit easier on your core. The lower you are, the faster you can go, but maintaining that position is super difficult. So if you are unable to hold any of those angles and tip yourself forward and backward for a hollow rock, you can just hold a hollow. That'll scale it for the number of seconds that calls for in the workout, right? So 10 reps would be 10 seconds. So find your hollow position, hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So that would be your scaled option for that. Hollow rocks. Hand release push-ups. So, probably feeling your arms, you're doing a lot of push-ups this week. With a hand release push-up, you are starting on your toes, hands underneath your shoulders. Please go back to Monday where I got super nerdy and broke down a good push-up position. You want to keep all those points of performance with the exception of you are lowering yourself all the way down to the ground, chest to deck, lifting your hands up off the ground, showing some air, some space, some light before you push back up. For most of us, in order to do that, you're going to end up bowing a little bit just because of the mechanics of our bodies moving. So for your hand release push-ups, if you bow and kind of kip yourself up, please don't stay in a cobra position. Bring your hips up, come to a plank. So a good hand release push-up rep looks like this. Okay. So have fun with those. If you are unable to push yourself up from off the ground in a hand release push-up like that, your next scaling option is to go to your knees, hand release, and then off your knees. And as always, if you absolutely need to bring the angle up, so put your hands up on an object, obviously do not hand release from here, but these make your push-ups a little bit easier while teaching your body good push-up mechanics, so you can absolutely do those. And then jumping jacks, good old jumping jacks. What are our standards for these? Feet together, hands together, out and clap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, make them good. So, home, keep up the good work. Attack with fire, Jakaris, and gym at the 8-minute mark. Here we go, another long one. All right, gym. So, you are starting with a Metcon today as your focus. Get your weights set up and ready. Make sure you are warm. Go through your warm up your deadlift, warm up those calves, make sure those hips are ready to go. Like I say in the notes for this workout, just due to the programming software that we're using, you have to do your math on your own on this one. Mind, body, fitness. Use those math skills and that brain skills. So your first segment, you've got a certain amount of time to get some work done. Your run is your buy-in. So once you complete the run, you're done. The AMRAP starts with the deadlifts. So these are conventional deadlifts, feet underneath your hips, hands outside your hips. From the ground, full extension, back down to the ground and up. We are moving quickly. We are not moving crappy. I was gonna say turtley, but because remember, if you put glitter on a turd, it's still poop. So We're moving fast. We want to get a lot of them in, but we don't want to round out our back. We don't want to blow our back out doing this. So, hips back. Once your hands are free of your knees, then you can bend your knees to grab that barbell. Weight is in your heels, distributed also through the balls of your feet. Little bit low, but we're not squatting, and you don't want to be straight legged. Save that for the strength. Bend those knees, shoulders over that bar. Pull straight up until that bar is clear of your knees, and then from there, what you want to think about doing is squeezing your glutes, bringing your hips up towards the bar. Squeezing your glutes, my absolute favorite cue for everything. Squeezing your butt up top is naturally going to bring your shoulders where they need to be. Makes your legs do the work. You know what's a bigger muscle than your low back and what's stronger? Your glutes and your hamstrings. Make the big guys do the work. Squeezing your glutes, driving those heels through the ground, makes your legs do the work, keeps that stress off your back. This is as far as you need to go up top. We don't need to overextend, hyperextend, put that pressure on our spine. No bueno, we don't want that. This is plenty. To return it safely and keep that good form, keep that bar close, touching your legs. Slide those hips back so that bar slides down your thighs. And then again, once you're just past your knees, bend to the ground here and up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keeps you moving methodically, safely. It'll help you breathe. If you control your breathing, you control your heart rate, you keep your strength so that you can get more work in. For your burpees, they are bar facing burpees. So after your last deadlift, your bar goes on the ground. You can step or jump your feet back. I don't care for these. What we're looking for here is that your chest hits the deck and your forehead is behind the bar. So we're not over the bar like this. We're back behind the bar. We could lay our head down on the ground without hitting the barbell if we needed to. You can come back up, again, step, I don't care. 2 foot, hop over that bar. You're not stepping, and we're not doing any giddy ups. Okay, just for this workout. So over the bar, that would be a no rep, or scaled. That's 1. Turn, chest to deck, 2 foot, 2. Okay, and so on and so forth. Keep track of your rounds and reps, add weight, your time goes down, your distance goes down, your reps go down, your weight goes up. So, scaling options for these. Look at that heaviest barbell. How does that look for you? If you scale that last barbell, you need to scale all 3 barbells back. You can also scale the distance on the run, depending where you're at with the run. And if you cannot run, if you don't have access to a treadmill, you can substitute in rowing or biking at me for the distance for those. Your score is the total number of reps, not including the run. So, like I said, a lot of math, but count up all the reps that you did between the deadlifts and the burpees, and that's your score. Note if you did it RX or scaled. Once you've recovered from that, you've got more deadlifts, because I like to drive them all home on one day, and then give us time to recover from those. So you've got Romanian deadlifts. Doesn't matter what kind of grip you use for these, but you're going to deadlift your bar up. Get tight, roll those shoulder blades back and down. Squeeze a lemon underneath your armpit to engage your lats. That's gonna help keep your bar close. You're gonna send those hips back, slide that bar down until you want to bend your knees, but you're not going to. You're gonna drive those heels through the ground, squeeze your butt to come back up to standing, okay? Romanian deadlift, about halfway. Keeping that nice straight back, belly button in, everything nice and tight up here, stretching, strengthening, pulling with those glutes and those hamstrings. Then you've got straight leg deadlifts. So these are going to be significantly lighter, and again, only do this if you can keep good form. Your legs stay straight. So if you need to be a little bit wider, just depending on your mechanics, you can absolutely do so, but you want the most traditional style deadlift that you can get safely. And a straight leg deadlift is a good morning with the barbell on the ground. So shoulder blades back and down, stick that butt out and back and behind you, nice big deep stretch in those hamstrings, and come back up to standing by pulling those hips forward. So again, that bar is going to stay along those thighs as you slide your hips back. Why do I keep talking about sticking your butt out and back? By moving our hips back and out of the way, our shoulders stay in alignment over our feet, which helps us keep our back straight, makes our legs do the work, and keeps that bar close. So again, watch where the bar is over my feet. When I stick out that butt and get all the way down to the ground, the bar stays close, right? And come back up. If I don't think about sticking my butt out towards that back wall and I just reach, look where that bar is. What's my back gonna do eventually? Pull. And then I have to pull the bar in, and then I'm doing this number. So get comfortable sticking that butt out as far as you can to keep that bar close. Your final movement in your little trifecta here is a 1 minute GHD hip extension hold, weighted, and you pick the weight. So if you have access to a GHD machine, you're gonna go face down off of it, holding a kettlebell, a plate, a dumbbell, whatever you have, keeping it close, and you're gonna be holding this number, actively squeezing your glutes for a minute. Try not to hyperextend to keep yourself up. Try to keep a nice, good hollow position that's tight with your legs and your glutes. Take as much rest as you need to. This is for strength, not for time, so make sure you're doing it with good form. If you don't have access to a GHD to do the hip extension hold, you can hold a weighted plank. That'll work as well. We're just working our midline stabilization. And then once you're done with that, if you have time and you so desire, you've got core 3, weighted GHD sit-ups, weighted hip extensions, and then hip extensions. So for your weighted GHDs, hold whatever item that you want. You can do med balls, you can do smaller medicine balls, you can hold a kettlebell on your chest, whatever you want to do for weighted abs, then unweighted GHDs, and then same thing with your hip extension. Flex and extend holding a weight, flex and extend without weight. You can keep the same weight the entire time. You can go up, they're your abs. You know how much strengthening your core needs. Do that accordingly. Again, if you don't have a GHD that you have access to, you can do decline sit-ups. Most conventional gyms have that sort of situation. Decline sit-ups still get that hyperextension of the spine that we want for the GHDs, for the sit-ups. And then for the hip extension, if you want to do some sort of reverse hyper, I've seen them called frog kicks. So if you have a big box or even a bench that you can kind of wrap your arms around and hang your feet off of and lift and lower, moving those legs, that works too if you have nothing to tuck your feet into, and lower that chest. And then core work to finish with. We've got a 40-round Tabata, which is 20 minutes. So you can think of that however you need to get it done. Your choice of erg, so whatever machine you want, or you can run outside because you're going for distance. So you do 20 seconds of sprinting, 10 seconds of rest, 20 seconds of sprinting, 10 seconds of rest for 20 minutes. Record your time. So, and then I believe it's the hip and leg cool down. So take the time to stretch everything out, reward your body for the hard work that you put it through today. And Dracarys. Have fun with it, guys. Enjoy your hump day. Enjoy all the glute work that you're getting done today. Do work. Be strong. Attack with fire. Do it with passion. Do it with intensity. Do what you can with what you have. 1% better every single day is going to give you an advantage, make you stronger a year from now, more than you think. So, catch you later.